assuming that this clusterfuck is going to go just like last night, I've decided to do it in parts now. So then I'm hoping that I'll just use that fucking movie editor thing to clip them all together and make one continuous ream of bullshit. It's the first thing I've noticed this time is there's a little fucking hole. Sorry, Mum. Keep swearing. She told me off about last one. Little flipping hole just there, and there's a cable in it. So I decided that a chisel is the right way to get through this and work out what that cable does. And hopefully I don't hit it, although I have turned off the socket so I know that it's isolated.
A few moments later.
Chisels are sharp. How the fuck I got it there? Sorry, Mum. How I got it there, I don't know. But the hole's made, and there's something behind it that is bigger and better than I am. And it's not light enough to show anyone, but somewhere in there's a little cable, and then there's also something that's in the way, and it's like made out of like Wolverine's freaking claws or some shit. Fucking still going. Bastards. That goes to a transformer, which is then reverse wired, because when I turn that switch off, where's that switch? When I turn that off, with the live in the live and the neutral in the neutral, it's connecting something. And this is beyond the realms of my understanding, because that's just the main switch. The switch shouldn't be poling backwards. But when I turn it off, the circuit comes on and I get 12 volts. So quite while I was seeing 8 volts yesterday, God only knows. Now I've widened my hole, which is the only time you'll ever hear me say that, I can see a gap. So the plan is to get this new cable, this fresh one, what I bought at lunchtime, down the wall, out that hole, pull the old one out after I've cut it, and thread it through and join them under the floor. The rage is incomparable. So there's a joist about there, so I can't pull a new cable, even though I've widened the hole on the floor. So now I think I've got to take the wall out. I'm sort of tempted to do that anyway, just for the sheer hell of it. But at the same time, I'm no good at making good. I make a mess and then ask other people to sort it out. So, in my infinite wisdom, I made a hole in the wall for a bit of l'exploratoire surgery we're going to go with. And so now there's a little hole, but the joist's actually there, down there. And they've polyfilled in the cable into the joist, because I can feel the polyfiller in there. It may even be cement for what I can feel, but I can't imagine someone cemented it in, although they did at the bottom. So now I'm trying to figure out how, well, what I'm actually going to do is make my hole bigger, and then once it's bigger, then I'll be able to get the cable through. That's my genius assumption. And then somehow I'm going to make a plasterboard pad that goes over it, polyfiller the edges and paint it. And I'm sort of convincing myself right now that that's going to look okay. And now, in an effort to cut corners like a boss, I decided to use this to create my hole. What I didn't consider was the dust cloud that would create, so I've properly choked myself out. And now I'm going to go back to the chisel, which I'm not so handy with. This is going to be a big messy hole. Meow. I have banged my head many times in the past 5 minutes. The hole is indeed holy, but some absolute cheese grater, thank me later Mum, did actually cement the cable in position and then tacked on the sheeting over the top, which isn't plasterboard, it's just like a cement sheeting. It's like some brickies just had a field day in there. I reckon that some guy with about the same level of DIY experience as me has done this once before, because everything's slowly coming out and the board's been put in proper badly at the top. I don't know if I can show it on the camera. at the top, the overhang, yes wine, overhang there, at the bottom, no overhang, no overhang. So whoever did that's a cheese grater, and I'm so going to boss it. It's going to be so much better than theirs. Things are not going well. I have cut the cable and then I've pulled it through, expecting that it would get stuck in the wall and I could leave a transformer there forever. But like, that's the bit of cable that I just cut out, which means the transformer is not in the wall. Which I assume means if I take the wall out there, I think underneath this badger here, I'm going to find a 12-volt transformer, and I didn't need to make the hole in the wall, and I didn't need to make the hole in the skirting board, and I didn't need to run a new cable. I just needed to find the transformer, which I thought was in the wall. So I'm going to now take this out, and just to disappoint myself, because I know it's going to be in there. It's obviously going to be in there because it's not in the wall. And all of this was just some massive clusterfuck. Sorry, Mum. And I'm a little bit heartbroken. So unfortunately I was right. Cat's joined me. There is my shitting culprit, hidden in the kitchen. And I've also dicked around with a board and had to move it that says don't touch it unless you're Southern Electric, which I'm not. I only had to move it slightly. It's only a chipboard board, but never mind. I had to move that slightly, didn't touch their electrics and shit. But now I've got this wonderful cable route through and I can sort it all out. However, the switch that I said was under stairs laundry, I don't know where it's fed from because it's not fed straight from the distribution board. I pulled a socket off the wall. That's a connection box, so I think what I'm going to do, Cat, look at her, look at her, Leia,